Welcome to WebDM. My name is Jonathan Pruitt, and this is my DM, Jim Davis. We're talking 5th edition D&D today, and we're talking character creation. Now let's kick down the door and talk some D&D. Jim, what is your favorite skill to be specialized in? No matter what character you have, what skill do you like?
No matter what character I have, I like being skilled in perception checks and some kind of social skill.
Yeah. Persuasion or deception.
Persuasion, deception, diplomacy, intimidation, something like that. It's all well and good to have it role played out, and I certainly like role-playing social interactions. They're one of my favorite parts of the game. But at some point, if you're playing a game that has rules for it, you're going to want to roll that die and see what you get, and it's nice to have the mechanics to back up what you're role-playing. And I think as long as I approach social interactions in a role-playing game that way, that the interaction comes first and the die roll second and not the other way around, that I don't feel like the die roll is dictating to me. It's like, oh, I got a 14 for my diplomacy check. I guess that was kind of mediocre. It's like, no, you role-play it out, see what happens, and then the die roll is there to inform, what decisions made afterwards, and not restrict you in any way.
Half-elf. You'd actually want to pick a half-elf, maybe.
Yeah, there's certain situations where you would now. I think, for a long time, half-elf was like I could, but why would I?
Why not just pick a human
why
or an
wouldn't I
elf?
just play a human or an elf? Yeah, there's nothing specifically that half-elf gave you. And so over the years, they've sort of, some would say shoehorned, others would say found a home for them as the diplomat and the versatile kind of, not so much really good with skills, but certainly better than your average character. For me, a half-elf is always going to be like the Dragonlance books. It's always going to be Tanis. It's always going to be a little angsty, but not. And so it's difficult for me to see a lot of half-elves that break out of that mold. So I'm always excited to see it when a character makes half-elf, or when a player makes a half-elf character.
I mean, they do get that bonus to charisma, though, so that's a few classes that you could use it in. They get bonus skills, so I just like that they give more. There's
more stuff for them. There's more of a reason, more of an incentive.
Instead of just being, my dad was raped by whatever.
Yeah, and it's good that they moved away from that as well with the half orcs. For a long time, there was this sort of like, oh well, how did I become a half orc? It's like, well, something unfortunate happened. Something something tragic happened in your background.
It's never
not so much anymore.
It's never your dad, the orc, brought flowers to your mom.
No, never. No. Or vice versa, or flipped. It was never your mom, the orc, brought flowers to dad, the human. It's never like that.
He was won over.
Right, he was won over by our orcish charms. Absolutely. That's a character right there.
And another way to add that layer of intricacy is the backgrounds.
Yeah.
Adding in all those backgrounds so you can be, maybe I want to be a fighter, but I want to be a fighter that knows about magic. An acolyte fighter. And know a little bit about magic.
One of the things I really liked is how, because they are assumed from the beginning, it frees up a lot of conflict at character creation of like, why can't my character have this? Why can't they have that? It's like, well, is it tied to their background in any way? I like that it's possible to sit down at character creation and be like, I have no idea what I'm going to play. An hour later, here's my character fully fleshed out. And I can take that as it is and take what the dice rolled for me, or I can pick and choose. It just gives more options for character creation. There's the potential for it to be limiting, and I think if people approached character creation with like, oh, I have to pick one of these backgrounds and I have to stick with these, that's limiting themselves. But if they instead say, these are potential backgrounds, it's like, I don't like this part, can I switch? Can I, and that's something that you and the DM work out or something like that.
And also, as far as rounding out your character, like all the bonds and flaws and all that, even when you roll them randomly, most of the time, you actually, once you roll it out, you're like, oh, that would be kind of cool to do.
Yeah.
Like, this is my bond, this is what I'm here for, but my flaw, if I get around the booze, though.
And you don't even have to worry so much about roles that end up contradicting one another, because, I don't know, real people are complex and contradictory, so it's like, well, I've got a lawful good guy, and he's also got a mean streak in him.
Yeah. Or maybe he's a drunk.
Or maybe he's a drunk, or whatever. Or maybe he's hiding a dark secret, or something. I don't know. There's something that I think that DMs and groups have been doing for a long time in certain, I know at least ours have, a lot of the other groups I've played with assume that kind of character creation setup, and so to have it there in the game with official rule support, Mostly for the people that don't want to have to make up their own stuff. They can just look at it. You know, there's a lot about having it baked into the rules that's like, all right, well, now I don't have to worry about that. I can just accept it as it is, take it, have fun with it. Your approach, what I like about it, the more mechanical approach, is being able to find those synergies, like you were talking about with the half-orc and barbarian and the different feats, finding the ways that they build on one another. I'm remembering the character you made in Marvel Superheroes who's flying through buildings and enemies and everything, just because the way you figured out how...
Sidewinder, yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you can overcome the damage, you never take damage, so you can just fly through things. I was doing just like 200 and something damage every time because... double damage going down, you get more damage the more you go down. Yeah, I literally did one thing.
It was really cool.
It just did it really well, but hey,
there you go.
do.
And so I think that approach to character creation is fun in terms of finding a trick that the mechanics can produce and building a character around that, or finding an archetype that you want to emulate and building a character around that, or both.
I've made a couple of barbarians. I have not played one yet. I would love to remake my favorite of all barbarian, the halfling barbarian. His name was Roscoe, and no kneecap was safe.
No kneecap was safe.
He was the delimmer.
Yeah, but that brings up a good point, because sometimes it's fun to make a character where you're playing against type. I'm gonna play a strong guy who's really small, or I'm gonna play an orc wizard, and you're just gonna go, you know what? I don't care that I get a penalty.
Because you take a penalty on the type of weapon you can use, right? But you can
make memorable characters.
Yeah, you make a more memorable character. Thanks again for watching WebDM. We're going to have new ones every Wednesday. Tell your friends. Come back next week.